Hello, welcome to Puffs and Poetry. I'm your host Jessica, a writer, cannabis aficionado, and poetry lover. Welcome to Puffs and Poetry's new home in my new home in New Mexico. As I film here, you may hear lots of sounds. You might hear crows overhead, you might hear magpies flying by, you might be able to hear the rooster in the background right now, you might hear dogs barking, cars passing. But what you'll also hear is some absolutely beautiful poetry that I am confident can change your life if you let it. Let's get to the good stuff. I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm smoking, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm reading today. Today I am smoking a strain called Colombian Gold. This is a sativa-leaning strain, which usually means that it's more energizing. Most strains on the market today are a hybrid of indica and sativa, so the designations don't mean as much as they used to. But since this is a heavily sativa strain in the lineage, typically the effects will be more uplifting. Everyone's endocannabinoid system is unique, and these may not be your results, but I personally find this strain of Colombian Gold to be energizing. Now, what's special about this strain is that it's a hemp strain. I'm not going to bore you with a lecture on how there are no biological differences between cannabis and hemp plants, and the division is set by laws. But the reason this is important is because this is a hemp strain that you can order from anywhere in the country, all 50 states. So if you're curious about this strain of Colombian Gold, you can get it from my friends at HiFi in Texas, and I'll link it in the description below. In addition to my strain, we've also got my trusty SharpStone grinder, my lovely Toker Poker, and my Weegits Mazex pipe. I love this pipe. Earlier this year, for the first 90 days of this year to be exact, I went on a smoke break. And I did this because I needed to check my own smoking habits, and I wanted my lungs to return to a healthier state than they were. As I've been smoking again, I found that I love joints. I love them so much, but they do not always love me back. They can be very harsh on my throat, and now that I've moved to a desert climate, they can really exacerbate sore throats, mucus production, and cotton mouth. This Weegits pipe is phenomenal because it is a dry herb pipe that is a little bit more complicated than your typical dry herb pipe. It's got a removable mouthpiece. Inside this metal part here is a silicone maze designed to cool the smoke down before you inhale it. And this bowl even has a lid. What I love about that is I can pack a bowl and take it with me without worrying about making a mess or smelling like weed. So I'll get this weed ground up, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what we're reading today. This weed has less of a fruity smell than I was expecting. There are distinct citrus notes of lemon and lime, but overall it has almost a piney chemical smell. And that can be hard to explain if you haven't experienced a weed strain before that has a chemically smell, but this smells like pine lemon cleaner. What is also nice about this Weegits is the bowl is deep, so when the breeze picks up, as you can see that it's doing now, I can still light my bowl, have it cherry, and draw from it multiple times, unlike a joint which is liable to go out. There we go. Since moving to the desert, I have to have water or tea or juice or Gatorade or some kind of liquid on hand every time that I smoke because the air is so dry that without it, I just go right into a coughing fit. Today we are reading poems from who else but Mary Oliver. I'm reading poems from her book New and Selected Poems, which as you can see is quite thick. It is springtime here in northern New Mexico, and you may not quite be able to see it, but the tree above me is full of little white blossoms. It's an apple tree, and within a couple days to a week it will burst into bloom. And I can't wait to see it. It has been quite fun to watch spring roll through a new place and see the way that it comes alive again, even in the high desert. Before I get started, you may be wondering, how does the hemp flower smoke? Exactly the same as weed flower. The piney chem taste is still slightly there, but mostly it just tastes dank and like smoke. I found that since I stopped smoking for 90 days, my palate is less refined when I do smoke, and I have a harder time picking out flavors. This is not the case for dry herb vaporizing, but it is the case for smoking, and it's interesting. Our first poem today is called Goldfinches. In the fields we let them have, in the fields we don't want yet, where thistles rise out of the marshlands of spring, and spring open, each bud a settlement of riches, a coin of reddish fire. The finches wait for midsummer, for the long days, for the brass heat, for the seeds to begin to form in the hardening thistles, dazzling as the teeth of mice, but black, filling the face of every flower. Then they drop from the sky, a buttery gold, they swing on the thistles, they gather the silvery down, they carry it in their finchy beaks to the edge of the fields, to the trees, as though their minds were on fire with the flower of one perfect idea. And there they build their nests and lay their pale blue eggs, every year. And every year the hatchlings wake in the swaying branches, in the silver baskets, and love the world. Is it necessary to say any more? Have you heard them singing in the wind above the final fields? Have you ever been so happy in your life? If you live in a desert climate or like a dry climate, tell me, is it something that you adjust to, or is it just something that you're just like, well, I guess I have to drink twice as much water now? Because I really feel like I just have to drink twice as much water now. All right, let's see. Our next poem is called The Ponds. Every year, the lilies are so perfect I can hardly believe their lapped light, crowding the black midsummer ponds. Nobody could count all of them. The muskrats swimming among the pads, and the grasses can reach out their muscular arms and touch only so many. They are that rife and wild. But what in this world is perfect? I bend closer and see how this one is clearly lopsided, and that one wears an orange blight, and this one is a glossy cheek half nibbled away, and that one is a slumped purse full of its own unstoppable decay. Still, what I want in my life is to be willing to be dazzled, to cast aside the weight of facts and maybe even to float a little above this difficult world. I want to believe I am looking into the white fire of great mystery. I want to believe that the imperfections are nothing, that the light is everything, that it is more than the sum of each flawed blossom rising and fading. And I do. Our last poem today is called Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. Calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Those are all the poems we have time for today. Thank you for spending a little time with me and with Mary Oliver. Until I see you again, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have a wonderful day.